Hello, Reckonate7 here, and welcome back to Combat Mission Battle for Normandy. We rejoin the Argyll and Southern Highlanders in our attempt to secure the village of Mondrainville. So in the last episode, we kind of secured the objective is here with the 10th platoon, and then we took our 12th platoon just up to the edge of objective Retty. So going forward, we'll look to kind of secure our position in while continue to push forward into Retty and prepare for the final strike on Marion at the back. A couple of things to do before we get round to that though. So we did make some final contact of infantry just at the very end of the last episode. Just 2 infantry squads. We've got one which we still have a firm contact of, and then another one which appeared to be potentially coming out one of these hedges here. So we'll look to initially subdue then with both infantry from this platoon as well as our armoured car support. So just before running the episode, I did issue a few orders. So let's just come over here and have a quick look. So I'm going to bring a third section along to this hedge line, as well as our mortar team, and get the Bren detachment, which were at the back, to get over as well, to help subdue the guys that were here. Meanwhile, I'm going to scoot forward with our Dalmer armoured car. And again, that should be more than enough to subdue the couple of squads we've seen. And at the same time, I'm going to bring my AT gun out to here to hopefully try and get that set up, just in case they bring their armour in support. So just, if anyone can't remember, there is a Panzer IV lurking around somewhere. We last kind of spotted it in this field, but we've not had a firm contact for a while. So I need to make sure my AT guns are ready, should we try and kind of swing that in support. Other note for this right flank, I'm going to grab one of these other armoured cars, just the Humber, the Recon one, who's been doing a whole lot of nothing, and we're going to bring him all the way around to potentially look to try and kind of swing around this flank again with a bit of recon. We'll have to be a little bit careful. I don't want to get him exposed to lines of sight from the Panzer, so we'll have to see once he gets here what the situation looks like and how far we're willing to push him in. Meanwhile, on the Retty front, we are just going to continue our push in. We've got a couple of squads moving forward here just to take some position along this hedge for scouting. Likewise, I think we were primed at the end of last episode just to come across the road, and we're continuing to scoot forward with our scouts just so we can get some better spots going on. We do have an artillery barrage which should be imminent, just coming in on the kind of cluster of buildings here, plus the hedgerows where we know there is some German infantry. I have been tempted to kind of move this since we've not seen really any movement or contact in these buildings, and once we start getting spotting rounds, I might actually adjust this to the south slightly, just so it gets slightly more of this hedge lines and slightly less of this road, but it'll have to depend on this guy's line of sight. Only other item of note, so our first section here, which still I believe is only casualties we've taken to date, they have finished medicing their injured comrades, so I'm going to bring them up with the rest of 11 platoon, who are our reserve platoon at the moment. Okay, so that probably does us for setups. Let's just jump into the first minute. So our most action will probably be out on this right hand flank. We'll see what it looks like. So my one concern really is that they obviously swing this Panzer up to kind of this position before we have time to really set up our AT and any kind of support. I'm hoping with let's check on this contact. Okay, so that's one we've seen before heading in that hedge though. I'm hoping with the barrage, which is pretty imminent, that we can kind of dissuade the tank from swinging in this direction. Depends how long our spotting takes. And I didn't even see where that one landed, so that's probably not a great start. Oh wow. Our scout, or Reaper, no, this was an actual scout team, so it was only one guy. As we say, got wiped out, so this is just one person. So again, this is the heavy machine gun fire we've seen from this direction. We're not 100% sure of the location of those guys. That is unfortunate, because he, as well as being a scout, was also acting as a secondary body to be a gunner in this Bren carrier. I'm really surprised we didn't get any kind of firm spot off the volume of fire that was coming from that machine gun. Okay. Ah, it's a shame to lose him, but that happens with the scouts. Just do a quick check this. We didn't get any more flashing icons from the German chat we saw. No. Okay, good. Okay, into command phase. So although he hasn't got firm contact with this guy, he should be able to. Really? Claims he cannot see that ground to shoot at it. Disappointing. That is disappointing. It's being less useful than I hoped. I'm going to scoot him forward though, just so he is in full view of whatever's over here. And hopefully we can identify that machine gun. It's slightly disappointing that it's gone quiet actually now that we've got more of our troops in. Again, we'll have to see what crops up, and if we're not going to get our dimer in on the action over here, then let's see if we can't get our mortars to drop some rounds on them. Meanwhile, you guys are in position. I am going to get you to dismount. It's a little bit of a risk, because we could come under some MG fire, but I'm hopeful that if they do, our armoured car here will support them in suppressing whatever they see. Meanwhile, you guys are being my kind of far out wing scouts here. I continue a little mission up the side, which I'm happy with. I am actually tempted, in fact that's exactly what I'm going to do. I will move this, do I need to move? We'll just move it up here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these chaps to jump out. And I'm probably going to get them to jump into this carrier. And then they can operate that brain gun to help us suppress these guys, if we need it. Feeling that obviously we'll just do the usual roles of ammo bearer. Just double check I gave that dismount command. I will assume I did, as it's unhighlighted. Okay. Meanwhile, we've made it across the road here. Have we actually got into the building yet? No. Right. And we'll continue to push these sections over. So really our aim is to see how far we can advance for spotting that tank. It's nice to know we can get ourselves at least across the road without incident. So you guys are just going to the bottom of that house. I'll attempt to see if I can't get you. Ideally somewhere over here. Again, just to get some eyes. We know there's some guys there, so I probably don't want to expose you too much to fire. Let's just wait. Let's see what those riflemen see in that house, and we'll go from there. Meanwhile, I would love to get this AT gun set up in here, but I'm not sure I'm ever going to get the breathing space to do so. Perhaps once we get artillery barrage, that might be a good opportunity. Again, I'm going to need some scouts over here, just to make sure that tank isn't sitting exactly there. Which is hopefully what these chaps will do, to cause us a lot of pain as soon as we poke our heads out with this carrier. Are you in the spotting phase now? Still receiving. Okay. Alright, I think that's probably all we're going to do. I do need to start pushing forward a little bit. We've got 29 minutes left, so we can't dilly-dally too much. So we'll see how the next minute goes. Yeah, good they are dismounting. It does take a while for them to dismount and then set up. Okay. Hang on. So it definitely looks like he's right here. And for whatever reason, our friendly pixel trooping can't seem to make that spot, despite the high volume of machine gun fire coming in. Which is slightly disappointing. Oh, we've done it now. Hang on, let's see who's got it. This chap has, for interesting and somewhat unfortunate, is that this is just a driver, so he can't fire a gun. I'm hopeful he makes a spot. He has now done. There we go, good. That's what we wanted him there for. Okay, so that should silence this chap. I wonder what we can just go have a look, see what we can see. I'm assuming it's just infantryman with MG. Usually is, but it might be mounted, tripod mounted. No, it just looks like handheld. Oh no, it says he's potentially on the tripod. Although it doesn't look like he's got it set up. Nah, okay. Not that he needs to cause us harm. But he's going to be in a world of hurt now, which is good. That's what we want. Meanwhile, we're still seeing this spot in. Still haven't seen that tank appear. And our scouts have got quite far forward now. Oh, he's legging it. He's had enough. Hang on one moment. Did we get another burst of MG5 from somewhere? Oh, no, it was us. That's good. Yeah, looks like just one dude. Legging it. Okay. Oh, no, we saw more than one. Oh, as expected, you don't usually get squads of one. Good. Anything else worth note? You've made it round. No other spots. Okay. Let's just go command phase. So I do want this AT piece to move up into this hedgerow and deploy. And from there, it's not the world's greatest position, but it should at least give us kind of... I was going to say it should give us line of sight over here, but perhaps not. I'm not entirely sure what it's complaining about. We might need to look at that. Might end up having to swing it around to somewhere like here. Just a lot more moving than I was really hoping to do, to be honest. But I'm going to set them up and see what they say then. Meanwhile, you guys can very much jump in here, even if it's only for a couple of moments, and you can keep pressure on there. Mortar team. Now you're in position. Do you have visibility on this target? You do. Excellent. I'd very much like you to drop your bombs in here, please. If that's as good as we can get, seems to be. Just check. What does the square behind look like? That might be better, actually. Dropping it on the far side of the hedge. Good. Alright, let's move over. So you are essentially in, well, you're not quite perfect position. Let's move you up to, that's a bit exposed, but we're going to have to take it just so we can get better sight down here. Similarly, let's move, right, do you know what, let's just keep you guys there. Let's not risk you. We'll move you three over. I can move you guys into that building and we'll get your leader. Here we go. To move up into here, and that should give us a pretty good eyes on everything that's going on over here. And if it stays clear, I will indeed bring my AT piece up into here. Although if he doesn't come looking for us, it could be a tricky fight to get him to move his tank where we want it. Meanwhile, I'll keep scouting about. I'm slightly worried about those houses. If they're occupied, it's going to be a little bit dangerous for this chap. You are continuing to medic. That is good. Alright, let's just crack on then. I don't think there's any other orders we need to give at this moment. Still. Fortunately, we haven't seemed to inflict many casualties. Oh, interesting. Potentially dangerous. See, this is why I wanted my AT piece set up, and I'm not sure he's going to be set up in time. So we've finally got the spot resolved. So this is a little armoured car with an MG on it. Oh no, it's not an MG. It's an armoured car with a 20mm cannon on it, as well as an MG. Okay, Which armored car have we got here? So I've got 4 mil. So I could probably take that out. I'm pretty comfortable with that. You could be in a dangerous spot though. But we don't have sight on it at the moment. You do, but you are not deployed. Oh, see, if you were just out, that would have been perfect. That would have been the yes is exactly where we want them. This is slightly unfortunate. Alternatively, if the barrage were going to start any time about now, that would be handy. We've got a lot more spots resolving themselves around here, which is making me happy. We're going to drop a lot of 150mm mortars on it, so it's another HG team. And then this looks like just infantry hiding behind this hedge. Yeah, just infantry with more MGs. Okay. So, oh, and someone has spotted the tank. Who's that? You guys. So he is setting just there. Okay, and it is that position that we were talking about. So I will probably have to pull these guys out because they're just going to get come to an untimely end there. It does give us a problem. I mean, it's a good line of sight they've got of how we get our AT piece anywhere in a line of sight on that and give us time to set up. Okay. Well, let's watch the rest of the time over here. So he's ducked away all the way in there, which is really ideal if we're going to... that's not ideal. Drop a whole bunch of mortars on there. What happened here? I'm not even sure what's taking that out. That's pretty disconcerting. Unless these were two separate spots. Okay. You're still claiming to be pinned. Alright, well, a few challenges. Right, let's go to the command phase. Right, you're now doing spotting. So this is where we got to decide, is it worth it? Probably is worth adjusting, actually, if we can. To say, look, could we adjust this? Still an area target. Just... maybe more like that. I think it's a better target. Might cost us a bit of time to get it down, is the only downside. Right, you guys, yeah, please scoot yourselves over. So we're out of way of that tank. So this guy's a bit of a concern. He's not too bad where he is. We don't have much of an answer for him at the moment. And I'm going to have to decide what we're going to set ourselves up here. I really want to know what took out this armored car. Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to put a quick cut in here, have a little think, move some guys around, and then we'll come back and advance. Alright, and we are back. So, a fair few tweaks in the interim there. So a couple of ones on our immediate front. So getting this second section of 10th Platoon to come up and support this AT gun. More, to be honest, to act as additional targets. Obviously, these guys are attracting... these guys are attracting fire. It would be handy to have some other people there to hopefully so these guys not be pinned, and if that does resolve into another armor contact, then be able to take it out. I'm going to reverse this guy slightly, just so hopefully he can hide behind the ruins of that car. And then I'm starting to move my reserve platoon into this area because I think overall, once we've kind of cleared out, hopefully here through the kind of artillery barrage, then we are going to want to sweep in with our infantry. The other bit, I made some kind of minor movements of kind of personnel here in this squad. But the other thing I might try and do is see if we can't get our AT gun unlimbered and bring it to somewhere like here. So if I go down to make sure I'm at kind of pixel trooping height, there is a keyhole, which if I can zoom in, spot of the tank, and I don't think he's going to be able to spot me this far out between the weather and my trees. So we might see if we can't get our IT gun in this position. They might not be able to see. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's worth a go. The other one, it was these armoured cars. They are doing absolutely nothing for me on this flank. I'm not really going to be able to utilise them at all because of the tank that's sitting there. And even if I can't push along this the side of the map because of these tank traps. So they're going to end up kind of being funneled into here anyway. So I decided let's swing them round to the right hand flank here and see if we can't use them a bit better. It's slightly more open terrain. Again, if we can neutralise a couple of these armoured cars, then we can have a bit more of a right to roam and be able to outflank artillery. That's the general thought. We'll see how it goes, and see if we can't work out what took care of our armoured car here. So it does look like it is another armoured car. These guys are still deploying. There you go. Oh. Well, unfortunately getting some more flashes. We'll go look at that in a moment. It's just if only that AT gun was set up, this would have been ideal. So we got here. I don't know, was that like a Panzer 1? No, it's not. Obviously, it's not an armoured car. It's a tracked vehicle. 20mm cannon. I don't know if that's like a 1 or a 2. I'm not that familiar with the armaments. But that would have been the ideal time. This is when I go back and realise I've not actually given them an order to deploy, which, you know, is entirely possible. So it's just these guys. So hopefully our mortar bombs are going in there. And it looks like we have a survivor from our crew, which is always nice. Oh, yeah, we did want to go chat flashing. Do you know, it reminds me of a situation we had over here, if I spin that round, with our platoon. When we knew the artillery was coming, we pulled it out and we just weren't quite quick enough, took a couple of casualties. And here, again, I think it was the right play. I just think we've been too slow in setting it up. And now they've gone past before our piece has been deployed. Right, casualty. Who, what, where, how? Oh, okay, in the building. Just attracting MG fire. Okay. So again, what ideally is once the shells start falling is to really reinforce this hedge line so that once these guys kind of recover from the barrage, we can then mop up who's left with a kind of superior base of fire. That's the kind of thinking at the minute anyway. Oh, that's not good. This is the danger of going cross country. Okay, he got one again. Whew. Obviously want to stick to roads wherever possible, but driving along this road is not going to be very healthy for any armoured vehicle. Okay, command fair it is. So these guys made it through okay. So what I'm going to do is bring their compatriots up to exactly the same spot. Just get you guys to shuffle over slightly. And then we'll dismount and we'll see if we can't scoot ourselves in. Yeah, you do have a deploy weapon. It's just... it just wasn't quick enough. The frustration is real. Our one saving grace might be when the bombs start falling, they try and get out of dodge. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let me finish that first thought. So we might be able to kind of pick them out on the way back. This chap, it looks like, so obviously they've taken a hit to a turret and they've all bailed out and some people have died. But it says dismounted rather than knocked out, so it looks like the engine still works. So if we wanted to, we could put him back in and drive around. There's some limited utility in doing that, so we might look at it. You are now starting to... I didn't see any bombs fall, actually. Are you dropping bombs at that guy? I would really like to know. And can you target this guy? No, you cannot. And I would like to bring up this recon car and have him join in, but I do have to be careful how far we move up. But we should safely be able to come to probably at least here. And then he might be able to take some shots at that guy. This is quite a big gap. I'm not that confident these guys being able to make it across. Maybe I should wait till a barrage starts. Be liable to kind of take some flak from over there somewhere, but it would be a nice position to get them into. Yeah. Not sure I entirely believe that that's a reverse slope. Okay. I can see, can't see the base of the hedge, but just fire at the man, dang it. I'm tempted to move these guys right up to the hedge line. They would be a little bit exposed, so maybe let's not do that. Meanwhile, I'm actually going to get these guys just to come out the back of this building. Again, I think the plan will be wait till the barrage falls and then push in, which should be on its way. Adjusting. Yeah, okay. There's a couple minutes of that. Well and good. These are coming along. What happened here? How very odd. How very frustrating, because there goes all my spare supplies. What on earth? Could have possibly taken that truck out. That's very frustrating. Okay, let's not dwell on it too much. Let's just push forward, see if we can't finally get this AT gun set up. Hopefully get some of our heavier shells landing on these this tank and this armoured car. And hopefully return fire on this chap. Well, these guys should be able to. Although it's frustrating when he has line of sight on us, but not him. Although I suppose he'll be seeing the explosions from the mortar going off. Where did that land? There. God, I really hope that's not ours. If they want to mortar this field, that's great. Well, apart from these guys trying to walk across it, but... So who has line of sight on this tank? These three riflemen down here are doing a bit of a spotting job for me. Okay. Which is okay. It's kind of what's to be expected of their position. But I need to not throw their lives away needlessly. Oh no, he did have line of sight down there. Oh, this could be bad if one of these guys gets hit by a proper shell. That was surprising. We'll have a quick back look at that. So I'm glad I moved him out of the way now. Okay, so it's the 20mm guy. Yeah, right, okay. Whew, if that had been the tank, we would have been in serious trouble. So we get some armor spalling, so our driver's taking a minor injury, but he is still going, so that's okay. Okay. Might get these guys to break out of jogs instead of some shells falling back here. But let's go command phase. We'll get at least one more 1 minute. Right, you guys are now set up. That is nice. It would have been nicer if I've done this earlier, but it's done now. This tank is obviously in a tricky place for us. You are doing a fantastic job there, mate. It's exactly what we want from you. Yeah, the question is if the mortar barrage doesn't deal with them. One minute. And how do we deal with a problem like Mr. Panzer? His got his side to us actually. Probably just if we get one of our armored cars, could probably take him out. Okay. This is good. I don't think there's too. I'm going to do a quick check round, see if there's any adjustments we need to do on the orders, and then we'll just push forward another minute. Okay, welcome back. So I have a cunning plan if our mortar barrage, or howitzer barrage I should say, fails to take out this tank, which you know, it's not that likely to be honest. We are using four barrels on a, I think just on a medium intensity, so we're dropping a lot of shells. But should that fail, then our reserve platoon has got an anti-tank detachment, which does obviously have a Piat, and this is actually a pretty safe little compound, thanks to no small part due to this wall, which means we can bring our AT team into here, and then quite happily pop them up into the second story, where they've got a pretty perfect shot at that tank. And to be honest, they're not exposed to that much other fire. So that's kind of backup plan A, so we'll prep for that. The other option we have is for the other armoured cars we've got around these Staghounds, to potentially try and bring them into kind of, I don't know, somewhere like here-ish and get the first shot off. A bit more risky. I'm not that convinced. Well, actually not convinced. I'm not entirely sure how good their that's the recon car. Their kind of 37mm gun will fare against the Panzer. Oh, and I did check. This is the Panzer II, which I don't think, you know, it's not particularly well armored. We're facing the side, so I gotta say should be all right. And these how you'll find these things out, isn't it? Okay, right. Time is wasting away, so let's just push on the next minute. So we are bringing those cars round. We are bringing that Piat over, and we are waiting for our barrage to start. And I did. You just see the icon there. So I did dismount our AT piece as well. So that's him shooting at the second Staghound as it made its way through that gap. Aha! That is some pretty useful information to know. Unfortunately, I think you may just have used up all your ammo on the infantry and not that AT piece. Okay. That's definitely something we're going to have to work out how we deal with. Because part of my overall plan at some point had been to kind of... I'm still not seeing any explosion in the right area. Had been to push through here with our kind of lightly armoured vehicles. We can't do that if it's an AT piece covering it. Oh, we're seeing it done. You guys are really spread out. It's not necessarily the end of the world. That was a fairly quiet minute. I'd love to get you to push over further. So we are going to have to really watch this AT piece. And I think you might be okay there, but you're not doing me anything useful, so do you know what, let's pull you back slightly. And we'll see if we can't get some better eyes. I really want to push you over there, but I don't think you can make it without being spotted and shot. So ideally, or not ideally, what we might have to do... Yeah, you have used all your bombs on that infantry target, which was useful, but now I'm wishing I'd saved them for use on that AT piece. Bring in this AT, or actually, no, I've got a better idea. What's the kind of call time? 7 minutes. That's quite long, but we might have a better time, so... I need to get you into position where you can see that gun, which I think is probably going to be here. Ideally, it actually would probably be the second story building, but you might become under a bit of fire there, so we'd be better off. I know you've not got reversal, but you still might be able to call in artillery on that area because you don't need to see the exact ground to target it. Build option we've got is to race you into this second story and see if you can't hide yourself long enough to call in an artillery strike. We'll try this one. If it doesn't work, it'll cost us 1 more minute and we'll push you in there. Maybe what we could do actually is get this guy to get himself over here. Will you make that in a minute? Maybe if we jogged you all the way you might. It's a bit of a risk dashing forward in my HQ unit. Actually, I'm going to get you all the way up to level 2 and we'll get these guys. Just walk's fine. In fact, you jog to the door and then walk inside. This is all the stuff I should normally do off camera and go up there. And I will have to give you a please don't attract attention order as well. That should be fine. Okay. Good. Right, I think we'll play through 1 more minute and then we'll call it there. Oh, which I will stick to, but we will have to get these guys. Where's your AT piece? Oh, it's there. It's not quite right position, but I would like you to move kind of here, and then probably. Oh, these. Problem is, if you set up there, I think you're setting up in essentially the wrong place. I don't think this is going to work. I think we're going to end up with a blockage because of this outhouse. What are other options? I'm worried that more of this side becomes too exposed. Okay, we can try it. I'm not necessarily sold. I'm not convinced you're going to vision, but we'll see how she goes. We'll see how she goes. Right. Well, let's go on the next minute and hopefully see some of these howitzers land. Seems to take forever to call in. And again, I forgot to tell these guys to jog, but they're getting there. Okay. Finally we're getting something of ours. It's not quite in the right area yet, but it's a start. Not sure what that was. Ah, there you go. So you've got some artillery falling out, which potentially it could have been just a random spotting round took out that truck. But that's okay, they can artillery back here all they wish. There's a little bit of fire coming out, but I don't think we're taking any casualties from it. Another fairly quiet minute. Oh, hello. Although we have found yet another armoured vehicle, just a half-track. Who's got eyes on you? You guys do. Okay, good job. That is exactly what we have you there for. Let's just jump into the command phase. What I would like to check just before we sign off is whether these guys have... Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we'll get you to call that in. But we'll do that ready for the next one. So that's going to be the end of this video. I do hope you have enjoyed it. Next time we will see this phantom howitzer barrage might actually happen. Hopefully we can score a few vehicle kills. And yeah, and in the last kind of 20 minutes, the idea is to kind of sweep round into this last objective and clear this of the Germans. But we'll see how that goes. But as I said, hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all in the next one.